You'll learn, John.
I'll learn. I need to just be ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless tyranny, just like your knights.
Yeah. I just need to think I'm playing my ex. I'll be fine.
Starts calling them a slag in the middle again.
Fuck my life off. I've only played models, mate. Why? Fuck you.
Shut a fucking long.
Oh, sure, it's not that bad.
I might print out a spare data card which says just picture your ex. As I look through and go, oh yeah, let's go.
Just put that note in the middle of your secondaries. So eventually you turn around like, sick, got it.
Just do what Deadpool does at the end of Deadpool 1, and you jack my face. It's like, this point, can you just wear this, please? Hi, welcome to OverRHeads. I'm Ash, I'm joined by Ben, Matt, and Jed. Right, it was definitely a weekend of two halves, you can say. But before we get into that, new nids. New models?
New nids. Oh,
First off,
fantastic.
the Lictors.
Yeah, great.
Proven. I mean, a big, bulky Lictor as well.
Yeah, what's the big bulky? Is that?
It's a newer Lictor, and I've heard that it's going to be a character. Of
so that one on the right there is the newer.
No, the newer Lictor's the one with the tail.
Okay.
Oh, the newer.
So there's just a. Yeah. Or is that just a close up in a different pose?
So this
maybe?
is what.
Yeah,
so is it? It looks like there's going to be two kind of key poses for the Lictors. So this is one. Like, how is it going to be sold? Is it like one kit of two Lictors, one of each pose?
Yeah.
Is it like a dual pose kit that's one model? We don't know.
You've got the normal Lictor, and then you've got this big bulky guy.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah, perhaps it's just going to be the same kit. There's just going to be actual model options
there's
maybe.
posing options.
I think every single time
nice.
you're going to pose it the shorter ones. I feel like
No,
with the talon, with the talon right in the air, like, hey, look at me, I'm holding a flag.
Well, you've got enough lampposts and everything.
Yeah, by the time you add all your debris on it,
it's gonna be taller than a bloody Titan.
Yeah. Yeah, Lictor, obviously the Nora Lictor is great.
That is near enough my favourite model.
Yeah,
that over the Nunids. I love that.
Yeah. And obviously the Death Leaper, which you've seen over
it's
there.
It's a good design aesthetic that they're going with, the kind of the key synapse units having these big brains.
Yeah.
Like kind of
It just stands them out as like the big thinking.
I think it helps out for opponents as well, because if they don't know NIDs, they say, well, the ones with the big brains have synapse.
Yeah.
And it's easier.
Kill them first.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Look at these big old targets on their head.
Obviously, new jeans here, the sculpts, which are nice and dive poses. New Herm grunts, which are nice poses.
There's one particular one what I think's posed fucking great. It looks like a Slothraptor fucking running.
Oh,
that one
jumping
right
off a
there.
rock.
Is it jumping off a rock? It's got its
it's
got its hooks behind it.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
And I think it looks fucking sick.
I think I've seen it. So
that bottom one.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Sort of
Yeah.
proper down running.
Yeah.
So coming for you, bitch.
But even that one there, where it's literally about to leaping off.
Yeah, that was what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
They do look slightly smaller though than what kind of is. It might just be because they're more bunched up, but
And obviously Termagants now, new guns confirmed.
Yeah, I like how they've brought the old guns.
Old guns, third edition.
Yeah. Old guns. What?
Do they have the web cannon thing now? Because they used to have the web thing.
I think so.
Yeah, it's like a mini flamethrower thing.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
We're going to see, because it looks as though they're going to be kind of 1 every 5, 1 every 10 models rather than kind of 4 units of them. So
okay,
we almost might have like sergeant style.
Termagants
with individual specialist weapons.
Keeping this one guy alive. Right?
Yeah. Obviously new Bivores and Pyrovores.
I really like them. They're really nice.
I like the Bivores.
I'm wondering how big they're going to be. Like
that looks like a
quite a Redemptor sized base, doesn't it? Which is actually going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, I think. Yeah. But you need a new one.
Look at the size of its cannon.
Oh, they're on 60mm bases at the minute, and that looks bigger than 60mm.
That definitely looks bigger than 60mm. So that's why I think like Redemptor sized base.
Yeah.
I think it was like 100mm base.
I don't like new spawn mines like.
There you go, I'll take for it.
I don't like them. I prefer.
Just paint little eyeballs on them.
That's like
floating eyeballs.
on them, please.
Put little pupils in there, but little floating
I
eyeballs.
prefer the ones we have now, the colour ones. They're still nice. They didn't need changing.
They just look derper. They just look,
they
look like they're going to fall over with that.
I just hate.
But they've gone with the same aesthetic with the tentacles, though, haven't they? With
I
like
the tentacles.
They're like just bringing them all into line, aren't they? It makes sense. Everything's going to get a refresh.
Yeah. But the new buy, yeah, it's just bulkier,
I'm
better.
sure you boys can't wait for the new gargoyles, right?
I mean, after what we've seen with these, it could be really good. And then obviously the Norm Embassy. Oh.
I'm not sure which one's my favourite. Whatever that one is my
I
favourite.
prefer that one.
Yeah,
Whatever that one is.
I think
That looks absolutely fucking massive.
that's the
there.
Norn Emissary.
So what have we got?
And then,
Yeah.
That's still the emissary.
a character
that looks
model,
like it should be
supposedly.
leading.
Yeah, new character model, kind of much larger than the Hive Tyrant. Apparently there's quite a bit of lore about this model in the Leviathan book that I've not managed to get around to yet.
So
even have the
basically,
Leviathan
Not anymore, no.
You going to me?
I know bits of the story. So basically, it's designed to be an assassin.
I thought that was the other one.
I think that's a
it's
simulator.
that one.
Oh,
No, but
maybe.
the other one's called the...
Yeah, the
What is it?
assimilator, this one, is almost like our new Demacaron.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, it's pretty much the same size as Demacaron.
Yeah, and that's a Wraith Lord. So Wraith Lord is about.
But you can see a wraith. You can see the knight in the back.
No, it's not a
can't
Wraith
you?
Knight. It's a Wraith
I
Lord.
mean, that...
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
I'd say it's probably about the same size.
Yeah, actually, I thought that was bigger, but actually, I think you probably are right. Yeah,
It's about the same size, yeah.
it is basically a resculpt of the Demacaron, isn't it?
Well,
But
I'm not a fan. I'm not such a fan of that one because I feel like it looks too messy.
I like it.
But that,
The weird middle
It might be
finger
the
stabbers confuse me.
I think it's the angle, and it could also be the paint scheme
Yeah.
that could throw you off.
You know what? That would look good in purple and blue.
Like everything. Purple, blue, and
Yeah,
everything.
they're definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
The
It looks better
emissary.
there.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
More contrast.
I do find its guns a little bit funny.
Well, I think they're
Pistols.
like syringe needles,
Yeah,
aren't they? They're like DNA extractors.
Yeah.
Come here, Space Marine.
Give me your gene seed.
Yeah, that's the new Neds. I love them.
They're great. They're really good. I think you
yes.
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's how you do a reveal. I mean, in the middle of a game, you're running up to me, saying, "Nash, look at these, look at these."
They were good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I agree with what you said. I don't think you necessarily needed the new Steelers.
No. But I do
Fine,
like the
take
poses.
it,
The
take
new
it,
poses
yeah.
are nice. New Harmguns poses are nice.
Does that leave you with any other models that needed them other than gargoyles?
Well, Shrikes.
Yeah,
Shrikes are
Shrikes.
the main
Shrikes are
one.
cool.
And obviously we want Carnifex upgraded now.
Yeah.
Can't have everything. Let the Marines have something. they're already going like, what happened? We lost.
There should be
Wait,
another
our
wave.
plot
or something.
armour's gone?
No, just because of the Scream Killer, I do want new Carnifex ups now.
Please give them tails. After painting yours, please give them tails because they look awful. Like a gecko that's dropped its tail. It's like, fuck's sake, just give it a tail, man.
But yeah, so that's the new Neds. We're happy with it.
Yeah, they're cool.
Right, the tournaments. First off, Outpost. Great time again. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. Enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great event.
Don't look over it. I went there.
Okay, so which one of you two wants to start first? Well, your day went.
No, start. Why not?
Yeah.
So I played a Stomper list first, an Orc Stomper list, which
The
was
Stomper list.
the Stomper list.
By
It
the
was-
way, which looked fucking awesome when it won
yeah,
best painting.
well deserved best painting.
Yeah.
Oh, it was an entire squig, entire grot-based army.
Oh.
Everything was like proxied in to work. So it was a mega gargant with like built-up plasticard sort of shacks built up around it with the big guns and stuff on there. And then loads of little grots just running around all over it.
Yeah.
It was great, honestly. The whole army was just grots, so even his war boss was like a stack of grots and stuff.
It's literally what you was on about the other
Yeah,
day.
it literally. I was like, Jed would love this army. Like,
Believe
this would be
me.
what Jed would want to do. But yeah, I forgot to get pictures. So
Yeah, I was literally, I was going to put mine out for best painting, and Ben said that's. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not bothering.
that's in
one.
my mind that had already
Yeah,
won. I was
yeah.
like, there's no one else is taking it. And it was really well painted. To be fair,
It was.
Alongside the theme was great. The painting was actually really good. The play of it was also pretty good too, actually, as it turns out. It surprised me. So I shot the Stomper turn one. I was like, you know what, a Wraith Knight can drop this in one. No, it didn't. It didn't. I think I got 5 wounds through. One was devastating wounds, so he took 8 mortal wounds from that, and he had to make 4 saves. AP 4 on a 2-up save. He had a bit of cover. made all 4 or 5 ups, and I was like, oh, fuck me. I was like, oh good lord, this has not gone well. I was like, oh dear.
The orc believes. I believe I can take these.
I was like, oh, okay, cool, fine. I gets the Incarn in his deployment zone turn 1, kill a few bits off here and there. I was like, alright, I set myself in a decent position. This Stomper's like front line deployed as well, so it can actually get out and round. I was like, the return fire is going to suck now. I'm going to lose at least 2 out of 3 D cannons, but whatever. Plus we've got like Storm Boys and stuff in there as well. I was like, oh, fucking hell, great. And a big unit of 10 grots. I was like, cool. So, gets in combat, doesn't quite kill his war boss on Squigosaur. Fine, he doesn't kill. I think he takes about 4 or 5 wins off the Incarn in return. I was like, well, that's pretty good going, to be fair. His turn 1, I then lose the Incarn to massed orc pistol shooting
Wait,
on a 2-up save.
It's when Ben turned around, I was like, gosh, the Incarn's dead.
Just died to orc pistols on a 2-up save. Like, what?
Well, they like wounded it probably on 6s or something
Yeah.
as well.
How? How does this happen? Like, this is what you get when you can't sub in fate dice, isn't it? But,
Make me want to play my orcs again.
no, it was good. It was good fun, but we just scored too well to compete. He was tabled by turn 4. Night Spinners are absolutely fantastic into what you declare a war. Cool. You -2 move and you can't advance. So you're moving 4 inches and you can't advance and charge now because like it just shuts them down completely. So it was a shame, but it was a good game. It was really good fun. I think it was 70-40 or something like that in the end. So he denied me scoring by dying completely, basically. Like my last turn, I pulled out all kill secondaries, and I was like, "Oh, you bastard!" I was like, "Great, there goes my points then," which was fine because it meant I didn't play Mark turn 2. that was made me happy. But it was the football primary as well. So once you win it, you just completely run away with that primary. And what I didn't realise in this one, which was not how I'd played it before, was that it moves at the end of both players' turn, depending on which player's controlling it at the end of that player's turn, isn't it? So I didn't realise I could move it in his turn and he could move it in mine when I played it before. But obviously we played it right this time because I'd actually read the card. So I should actually read the card this time. So but last time, because we were at Hellstorm, I didn't have the cards, so I was just trying to read off the PDF.
And the interesting thing about this mission was that it was a Crucible battle with the kind of like 2 objectives.
The extra,
which were also slightly offset, so that as soon as you moved one of them that was already close, that started closer to your opponent's deployment zone, you move that 6, you're already getting the 5 points for being within 6, but your opponent can do that as well. So it becomes a really high scoring primary game immediately.
Yeah, it was. But no, it was good fun. Round 2, I played some Sisters on a horrible terrain map for him. You just park the Wraith Knight in the middle, and anything that came out just died. I think it was over turn 3, 100 to like 18, 20, something like that. It wasn't a close game. And then the final game, which was it was shaping up to be whoever wins this wins the event. It was me versus Mark's GSC. Mark, fantastic player, great guy to play against, really nice, not like super competitive, really good list, great player, but not an arsehole. Yeah. So, you know, to be fair, a lot of the good players I played generally aren't arseholes because
you do get a few.
You do get a few, but generally they're all right. I think the ones you find that are arseholes are the ones that like think they're really good. And then when they start losing, they're like, "Oh fuck!"
Bit like
dickhead now.
Bit like Josh.
Bit like Josh.
That was over turn 2. I have to say, like, just turn 1, I couldn't really kill anything. Anything I did kill came back, and then turn 2, we had a go turn. Everything came in. Couldn't kill anything to Overwatch. Lost both units of Warp Spiders, and it was pretty much game from there. I played it out and it was like 100 to 60, so I'm quite happy that I scored well, and the Shadow Spectres in that game absolutely carried my scoring. They were so good. The stealth, that means I hadn't been playing them with stealth for like the 4 games that I played them until I played Mark, and I just remembered, I was like, oh my god, they have a built-in -1 to hit. Shit, that would have been really nice to have remembered in like so many other games. But Shadow Spectres absolutely carried that game. Their blast gun into GSC was great, just cool. Die. I would like to have had the spiders get in and do some work, because I think that would have helped and perhaps maybe got me to score a bit more points, but is as it is. Couldn't get rid of the blips, and the Incarn died turn 1 again. That there's a recurring theme. The Incarn died turn 1 all 3 games, which made me debate dropping her, but too good to drop. Too good. You can't get rid of her. But Mark just played around all my movement tricks, so there was nowhere I could move with a Phantasm. Wherever I moved, that unit was still dead regardless. And then he vec'd it as well, so it's 2 CP to do. He played around the Incarn, so once it's come in, he was like, right, well, we're not shooting anything else until this is dead, and then I'll shoot something else. It was little things as well, like he drops his Acolytes in on my home objective, Wraith Knight's there, Overwatch. I've spent the 6 to get a definite hit. Probably should have saved the 6 for the Devastating Wounds, just to try and drop a unit of 10 Acolytes, but yeah, I couldn't guarantee a hit at that point, so I was like, I'd rather guarantee a hit and then hopefully get a 6 on the wound, but just couldn't kill them. And then he deployed out of range of the spiders as well, otherwise I'd be watching with the spiders and that would have just absolutely ruined them. And then I could have pulled the Incarn back. So there's a few little bits there that would have changed the game, but this is what you get for playing a good player. So yeah, did lose, went 2-1 in the end, with like 270 points. No, it wasn't. 230 points overall.
What did you place? 5th?
Placed 5th in the end, yeah.
5th out of... How many plays were there?
22, something like that.
Yeah.
No, pretty good show. I'm happy with that. Wraith Knight does have to come out of the list though now. I think just the GSC matchup just completely takes it out of the game, so that's got to go. The list has got to change. Or MSU.
But you already knew that anyway, didn't you?
I knew it, but I didn't want to paint anymore. I've got so much to paint already. I was like, no, there's a quarter of the army done there. Cool, let's go. So we changed that up. But good showing. Really happy. 3 great games. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah. So straight away, Friday night, soon I got Custodes. I thought, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go.
You're not
a fan of Custodes, are you?
I am not a fan of Custodes. So Friday night I was playing D&D, I was DMing, come out with Custodes, I took it out on the board. Well, no, get there, sound game. Somehow, I don't know how, still don't know how, I managed to draw 83-83.
No, we know how. Bivores. Bivores and fixed secondaries. That's how.
yeah. Well, obviously on the way there, so do you know what? I might take fixed secondaries in this. I think you looked at me like, actually starting to believe.
He's thinking.
No, great game. It's good game. Second game, I played Sisters with the Knights. Now this guy came third. I lost to him, and I'm happy. You know what? He come third. I'll take that. Still a close game. What won it for him was the Knight.
Yeah,
because I could not deal with it.
That was always going to be the case.
It was the open middle. I was like, as soon as I step in the middle, the Knight's going to take me out. So I had to try to work around the edge. Kept my monsters in a bit of terrain so to get the core save. Obviously, I can only put the Feel No Pain on one monster, so I tend to put it on the Exocrine because obviously the Maleceptors and that all got the impulse save anyway, so they can take a bit of a beat into it.
Take a bit of a beat, can't they? Yeah.
But I didn't touch the Knight. I just ran the outside. I was doing the fixed again with the Bivores. It went till round 5 where he's like, shit, you know what, I need to fucking screen out here. Yeah. And he did. He won that, close game, 68-85. Really fun game, and the game's got generally better and better. Third game, Grey Knights. Now this was another draw. This was the best game of the day.
2 draws and a tournament.
2 draws twice, 78-78. Now this game, when it started, the guy, I think it's his first 40-game tournament, he was, what's the word, he was not...
deflated.
Yes, yeah, he was deflated. I did think, it's going to be one of these, this is going to be a bad game. This is going to be bad. As soon as he got his round 1 out of the way, he livened up a bit, and it was a fucking brilliant game. Back and forth, literally, he's teleporting around everywhere. He's got 3 librarians, so he's doing the Vox, fucking whatever it's called. Vortex, yeah. I'm having to think, where's he going to go next? I took... what did I do?
So you were thinking again, is what you were saying?
Yeah. I thought about taking Fix, but I thought, no, because he's going to teleport everywhere. That's going to do that.
Drop the Bible straight away. Yeah.
So I took, obviously, Tactical, and it paid off. And Great game then.
So, 2 draws in a tournament.
2 draws in a tournament.
Quite spectacular.
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled it off. I don't know what happened, but great day. 3 great guys, and I said the one loss was against the guy who come third, so
You can't complain about that.
yeah, cannot play that at all. I had a really good day.
You finished 12th as well.
I finished 12th, yeah.
Finished 12th.
Finished 12th.
It's pretty good for you.
yeah. And you know what? I really like my list, apart from the Nora Tyrant's going.
Yeah.
Nora Tyrant and Alien Cunning is going. I already think I'm either going to go Old One Eye or Raveners and 2 Pyrovores.
The second option.
Yeah. So first option sounds fluffy and fun. Second option will serve you better.
That's why it's the first option for me.
If you take Old One Eye, you have to take the 2 kind effects with
Big
him.
monsters.
Yeah, but he needs to be
He does.
He does bodyguarded because
Swarmlord, how many points is he in comparison to a Hive Tyrant?
only 5 points more when you factor in the adaptive biology.
Which you don't take currently.
You do.
You still wait, is adaptive biology not?
That's the.
Oh, that gives him a feel no
Yeah.
pain.
So you never have to worry about using the stratagem on the Hive Tyrant, and yes, Swarmlord gives you extra CP, but I find that having the additional stratagem use gives.
So you can use it there and there.
See, I found the extra CP did come in handy.
Yes,
It helped out in my
But
games.
theoretically, you also get an extra CP, sort of, because you can use the stratagem again for free.
Yeah.
And you can use a 2
So-
you can use a 2 CP stratagem per player turn for free, so you
Yeah.
could have 10 for free.
Yeah, basically 10 free CP.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you,
no,
if you use it properly.
I'm really enjoying this list, apart from the Nora Tyrant's going.
Yeah.
It just does nothing. And
It's-
Battle Shock is
Battle
a
Shock
joke.
is too
It's
meaningless,
a joke.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's nothing. We all thought it was going to be something in 10, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, my great
It
day.
sounded promising, it just doesn't. I think
There's a few niche uses
you need
for
to
it.
roll
I've got
to
a
get
couple
out of it, don't you, basically?
Yeah.
key points from my games where it really came in helpful, but again, for 135 point that is a Neuro Tyrant, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
And Alien Cunning's just a joke as well.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
With the ruling of it has to be before
Yeah.
first turn. It just it fixes a bad deployment mistake, but that's about it.
Just deploy good to start with, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to use it
Yeah.
at that point.
I think Mark, when he used it with me, it was just like, oh, I've actually got nowhere to put the aberrants, so I'm just going to put them here, and then they're going to come back off the board in a second because
Yeah.
there's no safe space for them to be with the Wraith Knights hooting around. I was like, yeah, fine,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I was like, cool, go for it.
Yeah. So, Matt, your day?
Yeah, so I started off with the Tyranids Mirror because I always have a Tyranids Mirror in an event, and this was no exception. A lovely guy. It was his second game of 10th and also his second game of NIDS, and that was made evident by the fact that his 80% of his army was multiples of the Leviathan box set. Things like 15 Barb Gaunt, Screamer Killer, Winged Tyranid Prime, which from my perspective is probably the worst model in the index at this current time. And also unpainted models, so he was immediately 10 points down, unfortunately. But we deployed, again, as I mentioned previously, the event had ruled that Alien Cannon was before first turn, so that we spent a lot of time kind of deploying and then redeploying. I got first turn and effectively just started blowing massive portions of his army up, including like Barb Gaunts and various items just from the get-go, because I had 2 X screens, he had 1, I had 15 zone throats, he had none. So as soon as I kind of had a line of sight on things, it was they were just
Game from there,
dead.
isn't it? Yeah.
There was a kind of key point where I was a little bit concerned. I think it was my turn 2 where I shot the so kind effects. He had the Old One Eye and 2 kind effects block, which is by far the kind of key piece of tech he had, and the one thing or the main thing that I was most concerned about in his list. In that when you shoot it, as soon as you, I believe it's as soon as you do wounds to it, or maybe kill a model, I'll have to double check that, it can move forward D6 plus 2 inches directly forward you, so you have to very carefully position, and that can also go into engagement range, you have to very carefully choose the order of operations and where you want him to move. Again, Spore Mines can kind of limit that quite a lot, but when I shot him with 6 of my zone thropes, I forced 5 saves on him with a 5-up armour save, bearing in mind the Fire of Awe for Ignil and Cover had already fired. He then saved all 5. So I was a little bit worried of that.
Oh no.
And then he returned fire with next screen on his turn into my Zoanthrope, bearing in mind that I think he should kill about 2. Without the Feel No Pain, he killed 5. I was a little bit worried when I did get let off when his Old One Eye and 2 Khan effects that of course survived on my shooting phase didn't make the 9-inch charge into my 6-man zone, the other 6-man zone rope squad. So if he'd made that, I would have been in a bit of a sticky situation. But I think the score ended about 98-16. So yeah.
Which didn't put you in a great position, did it, Matt?
No. So I had the luxury of facing Mark and his GSC round 2, which, in all fairness, I really wanted to play the GSC, and Mark's probably the best person to have this experience with. Certainly, coming out of that game, it's the sort of matchup where you need to have reps into it to really get a feel for how it operates, because between the kind of multiple drop turns, the kind of picking up units at the end of their turn and redeploying and multiple other shenanigans as well, you really need to get some experience into it to understand how it operates and to learn to the kind of the right amount of aggressiveness into it, because if you're too aggressive, he just starts deploying things at the back of your board. If you just sit back and walk towards him slowly, he'll just use all of his free resources and slowly pick you apart. So again, it was the board that had very little terrain in the centre, which, in all fairness, benefited both of us because we're highly mobile and shooting armies, so that was fine. But he got first drop and put his 10-man aberrant squad in a line 9 inches away from my deployment zone, bearing in mind we're playing Hammer and Anvil, so the deployment zones are very deep and I've got a long way to go to get to his blip to placement effectively. And so I kind of countered that with the 11-man Neurogaunts, and then put all of my units at least 4 inches behind that, so that if he did get first, he couldn't just shove the aberrants into my whole army. Yeah. Although saying that, he did redeploy the aberrants into a corner on one of the mid-board objectives with the character, because we were playing the one where you get additional points if you're if a character
priority targets, is it?
No. So one where you get extra points if you're playing.
Yeah, you've got a character on there. You get
I forget what it is now, but so he had a character biologist, I want to say, within that unit that allows for, it gives him lethal hits. But he gets first turn. He just moves a few things up, shoots a few things. Well, he removes a Neurogaunt screen that was directly there to do that job, and then just kind of sits there. I move up and kill a 20-man unit cleanly off the board that comes back, and also a 5-man bite squad that he rolls a 4-up that comes back, and just kind of trade a few shots there. Then his drop turn comes in where he deploys, I want to say 60 neophytes and 15 acolytes and the 5 bikes as well that come back. Well, actually, no, the bikes come back later. That's the other turn. And between the 3-inch deep strike and the kind of the board presence he's already got from going first, he's able to drop 2 exocrines and the 3 leapers that were just within view that were trying to get to objective that couldn't quite reach it. And at this point I'm realising the absurd lethality of Gene Stealer Colts, which, yes, they demo charge you only 1 shot, but that's all you need.
So it's D6 plus 3 and there's 4 of them.
Yeah. But this is the thing.
And are they blast, are they? Or?
Yeah, blast.
The blast
there's a 20-man neophyte squad, but there's only 8 guns that you need that actually do damage, and same with the acolytes to a certain extent, because one 10-man acolyte squad killed an exocrine through the Feel No Pain and the 3 leapers through the stealth. So it's and I think that's a 75-point unit that kills over 200 points in one activation.
Yeah. So it was the 10-man acolyte squad that come down and just dropped Farseer and 2 5-man spiders. Again, that's like 300 points in one activation. You're like, all right, cool, thanks.
It's extremely difficult to screen that out. And this is where it became really interesting, because on my return, I used the battle shock from the Shadow and Warp to ensure that he could not use the stratagem to be out to allow for lone operative outside of 12, and for him to remove the ability to pick up units at the end of his turn. And then I think I wiped something like 60 neophytes and 15 acolytes at that point, because it's just when you get a beat on them, they do die incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
But again, they're all battle line, so they all came back. So I just eventually ran out of steam because as much as I kill, it just keeps on coming back. The board's fairly open, and I'm trying to push forward, but between his aberrants on one flank that he did not move once per game, they just stood there and didn't go near him. He also had the saboteur directly behind them, so even if I put in something
Can we talk about the saboteur?
Yeah. Well, this is the
55 points, lone operative. A once per battle thing, you walk within 12 of it, you get, on a 2-up, you get D3 plus 3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
A better demo charge.
An indirect gun.
An indirect gun.
Good, the 24 inches range, which is insane.
Is this a little sniper guy?
No. It's a woman with a kind of like a demo charge thing.
Oh, I've not even.
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
Yeah,
they
55 points.
Because they prevent you from what I really wanted to do was put a lictor directly into that aberrant squad, use precision to kill the character, and then at least not getting 3 additional points.
Yeah.
But then there are 2 problems with that. One, they'll just kill my lictor on like a 26% chance when I move towards because it's on 2-up, then you just need to roll a 5 or 6, the lictor's dead. And at that point, the aberrant's no point in them being stood there, he might as well just throw him into my army that I can't deal with. So it's I think at the end of this game it finished a 92 to 49, and I killed something in the region of 100 neophytes and 40 acolytes and 10 jackals, and all of it came back, so technically I killed nothing.
That was the frustrating part.
Wow.
You just cannot reliably get to them.
Yeah.
The board presence and the way they can screen you with the saboteurs and stuff like that, it's just... There's no effective way of dealing with that.
And we had a discussion at the start because I've obviously got the spore mines, but it was ruled at this event that they don't count as having finished the move, so they can't automatically take out the blips. But looking back, it wouldn't have even mattered because he always had additional spare units like ridge runners and various other things at his backfield that he just put the blip next to, and because it's extremely deep deployment zone, it's just really difficult to get back there. I just ran out of steam, and it was just quite clear that I think lethality probably is more the problem than the kind of regenning of units, but them combined makes it a really difficult game. And I think there are avenues to build it, to beat it, but between the kind of excessive horde mode that they are and the knights that are both opposite ends of the spectrum,
such an extreme there, isn't there?
It's really difficult for a lot of armies to
armies.
Get effective damage control into both, really. So that put me into game 3, which had Chaos Space Marines, another interesting matchup. The kind of typical Abaddon 10 Terminators, 2 units of Possessed, and various other Legionnaire units. But the main kicker here was no arranged output, so no Forge Fiends or Obliterators, that made the matchup extremely difficult for him, unfortunately, because he put a lot of his units on the front of the deployment zone, again Crucible Battle, aiming to just kind of push forward as quickly as he can. I got first turn, and my 2x Queens, the only thing they could really see him, ended up killing 8 Possessed from 2 different squads. And then he effectively moved forward, plinked off a couple of shots to kill some Barb Gaunts on one flank, and then I killed 5 Legionnaires, all 5 chosen, 6 of the Terminators, and at that point he's already running out of steam. When Abaddon and the Terminators hit and the Wing Demon Prince hit, they do hurt, but again the Hive Tyrant can mitigate damage by having the Furno Pain in 2 locations, and just the ranged output that I can produce when my opponent is kind of pressing onto me, and the fact that he's almost doing it in successive waves that I can damage control, rather than just having it all in one go. He did run out of steam, unfortunately, incredibly quickly, and it finished 100 to 40 something.
So that seemed to be over pretty quickly from where I was stood.
Unfortunately, it was just the terrain didn't help because the boards are quite light, so I can get angles on them relatively easy. It's not a great matchup for him, unfortunately. So it finished 100 to 43, I want to say, and ended up finishing 3rd. So very good event here.
You didn't.
No, sorry, not that.
You didn't, Matthew. Fourth though.
Fourth.
It was close to 3rd. But a pretty good showing from you with an army that is not the easiest to play. It's not got a great amount of depth in tools that you can use, but
damage output is pretty shit.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's almost kind of like ideal 10th army, because it's from the win rates this past weekend, we're sitting on average from the past 10th edition for about the 50% mark. And we're very tricksy, we've got a lot of tools, and the damage output can be there. It's almost like a rock paper scissors game, because we've got a lot of things that are lethal into the right unit. I'm sure a lot of armies do, but it's getting them. How to live with them.
The xenophobes and the biovores are carrying us.
Yeah, exactly.
The xenophobes and bio, they're literally carrying us so much. And Sarfagel, because let's just mention Trajan, the little bitch. Sarfagel walked straight up to Trajan and just flicked him off the table like it was nothing. So nice. So nice.
I wish I was there to see that.
It was so sweet. That was my day done there. I was like, yep.
Happy days.
You can have the win now.
Yeah. Well, no.
Did he pop a fight first on him or anything, or did he just?
He already used it.
Oh, he already used it. Fine.
Yeah, so I kind of planned. He already used the tool save. That was with because it was in combat with the Maliceptor. Then Sarfeld would come in to help it out. I see. If he had the tool save, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, I think it's a different story, but yeah.
But even still, even if one gets through, the damage is D3 plus 3.
It's doing a fair chunk.
So even if you get 1 or 2 from you're taking them out. But when I literally rolled the 10 hits, all 10 hits, and I think like 8 wounds went through, and he only saved like 2, he's gonna die. Yeah. He's gonna fucking die.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. A pretty good showing for us, wasn't it?
It was a great event again, and for their first 10th edition tournament, I think it went really well.
It went really well. All of us only lost 1 game as well, which actually is quite miraculous for us at events, to be honest.
For me, it's miraculous.
For you, yeah.
Well, great event. I'd say they're working on their terrain, which they've said twice now. And first 10th edition tournament, I think it went well, and I really like it there. I like the staff, I like the layout. Definitely go back again.
Yeah, absolutely.
On to Sunday. Now, this was. I don't want to because. Right, so All Scars. They're not. I'll start off with the people down there are nice and good, but I absolutely hated this event. It's gone down as my worst tournament ever. Just because I don't want to slag it off, but it was terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
I think one of the main problems with the event was there needed to be more set in stone kind of rulings on things.
There was
a lot of things what was like, we can just agree before the game, and it's kind of like, well...
Yeah, there's no one set ruling.
Yeah, no set mission. Every game was a different mission. Different layout.
Yeah, the random missions were really janky.
Yeah.
I think especially for your first tournament in 10th, you do need someone who's going to be there and make the calls. I don't think you should be left to decide as players, because you're both biased as to what you want. And you'll both argue what you want. I think you need a TO to come in and be like, no, this is how I'm rolling. And that's like, what you play. And then that's fair.
The terrain as well, it's not great down there. It really isn't great down there at all.
Yeah, I had one game where I couldn't hide a knight, and then I had another game where everything hid the knight because the terrain was so big. like literally, they had little tiny mountains or like a giant pile of shit. And literally just the right height to hide a big knight just behind it. So literally, and I was like, we both said to each other, was obviously line of sight blocking, and I was like, wait, I can hide knights behind these.
But then there'll be tables where you can't even hide a fucking xenophobe.
It's very varied. It's
not. But that straight away. I
think it definitely punished combat.
Oh, yeah.
All the tables had their punished combat.
It was a shooting tournament, and that's.
The layout was all wrong. I was like, I don't want to stand because the guys down there sound, but it was bad. It was awful. I come last. Now, people will say, oh, he's just salty. No, I've come last to tournaments before. I come last at Outpost. I come last at Boltstorm. We laugh about it. We had a laugh about it. We had a joke about it. We thought it was funny. Here, I was not happy about it. I was really pissed off about it. And For me to get pissed off like that, I say myself, it's rare.
Well, let's talk about your matchup, because that might have a bit of a clue why you got so pissed off. Because I think most Tyranids players would have got a little bit pissed off with that kind of matchup.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
First game, I played the tournament host, Sam, Imperial Guard. Straight away, not good.
on shooting maps as well.
On a shooting map, not great, where my monsters are going to try and get around all this terrain, nightmare. Straight away, that finished 56 to his 90.
Yeah, because weren't that... I looked at that map, and yours was like loads of tiny little things, weren't it? Instead of having big blocks of like solid terrain, it was like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see through it.
So you
couldn't hide a big monster behind them.
Yeah, and also, but when I wanted to get
You've got
stuff
to try and
around,
navigate
it was a
around,
nightmare getting right, yeah. But then, the second game now, this is the one I want to fucking talk about.
I thought the guy was lovely.
No. The guy.
It's just, I think it's a question of the
David, I've played him for, he's sound. I want to put that out, he's sound. I lost this game as soon as the cards were drawn. And I'm going to go over these fucking cards.
It happened to me as well.
Because
Actually.
I pulled Sweeping Engagement straight away, that deployment shit.
Yeah.
They employed Delayed Reserves. They employed Deploy Servo Schools. Again, this was against God. Fucking
I
God.
haven't played the Servo School one. Yeah, I really want to play
It's
it.
terrible.
I just want to have a laugh doing
It
it.
should not be a tournament.
So
I
this-
don't know why.
So this is a mission where I've got to get in the middle to kick the objectives into his deployment. Guess where he wants me? He wants me in the middle. And also, what happens? He gets first turn, takes all my shit out. He also has the character that can make the CP cost extra. So what does he do when I put field on the thing? Makes it 2 CP. So it's straight away. As soon as these cards were drawn, I had lost this game.
Yeah.
It was fucking ridiculous. And at this point, I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
Literally, like first turn, second turn, I was like, I'm done.
It's just an accumulation of things there, isn't it? That just leaves it as a bad experience for you.
Literally 2 guard matchups. Straight away, like Matt will know from experience from when he played Josh. Guard just fucking wipers.
They've been known to wipe us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
I think the right lists will do.
Yeah, cool.
The work.
He had 2 Manticores, 2 Lehman Rosses, a Roman Dawn.
Yeah.
The
Some Sentinels.
Medusas.
He had quite a few troops.
Medusa artillery carriages, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
2 of them.
like that,
So
yeah.
they're just proper shooting. It's it was ridiculous.
We do suffer a lot to indirect, and also your list didn't have a lot of OC values, and
No.
you can have the Cadian squads that can just run around and just kind of kick that objective into your performance zone, and if they die, fine, 2 CP, they're back again.
Yeah.
This is why it needs to be. If people are doing running tournaments, they need to have. Well, that who released the pack?
So GGW's first Grand Tournament pack.
Yeah,
sort
Leviathan
of.
Grand Tournament pack.
Like,
Yeah.
it's okay, but it gives you a set build of cards which should theoretically be more competitive. They still have deploy servo schools in there, which I think
which is fine because we had
silly,
that.
but
We had that at Outpost.
we did have
but
that at
it was still
Outpost.
like I had.
but
that
everyone was
at
playing the
Outpost.
same thing.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So it worked. It was fine, but you can't run tournaments and run. You pick out the cards. You can't. It just don't work.
If
I lost.
everyone's playing a different game, it makes it incredibly unfair sometimes because it's just luck of the draw on an individual basis rather than if everyone was playing the same event, then everyone's got that potential disadvantage.
Yeah. But straight away, I lost 46-84 again, and then third game.
Yeah,
Now, third game, bottom of the table. Now, currently, right now, when you look at 10th edition tournament scene, what is one army that should not be at the bottom of the table? Imperial Knights. Who do I get? Imperial fucking Knights. So again, straight away, I've already fucking lost. So at this point, I was like, again, I want to put it out there. All 3 lads are sound. They are sound, but I was like, I'm fucking done. I am ready. I just want to go. Get us home done. Let's just fucking go.
He was in the corner as well. So
Yeah, I was
someone
in the
put
corner.
baby in the corner.
I was
Nobody puts Ashley in the
I was
corner.
in the corner, and I was actually staring at the door. I was like, the door's right fucking there.
I could just go. Just go right now.
Honestly, if it weren't for Jed taking me there and getting back, I think after game 2, I would have just left.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah. I don't want to be that person who would walk away, but I would have just fucking left.
Yeah, that is understandable.
It was, I did not enjoy it at all. And sadly to say, I won't go back again.
You don't need to, you've got the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
You can have that one to your collection.
Yeah, no, so you could probably say I'm being salty, whatever, but no, I did enjoy it. I won't go back again, and I won't name the person, but someone else has said to me, says they won't be going back again either.
Yeah.
So not great. Jed, I know you're similar.
Yeah, I just think it needed more structure. I just think it needed more honing in. Like it's the first 10th, so it's going to be a little bit off the rails. But
there's going to be issues. But when there's that many issues,
it was a bit weird. Even when he said like which tables are which, I was like, what? I was just really confused like from the get go. I was like, so should I start my games? Yeah. So my first game went into Ultramarines. I can't remember the objective. I think it was just standard like 5 VP for each thing. He ran Gilliman, loads of different veterans, 2 Blister Dreadnoughts. What are the Melter guys? Eradicators. Fuck me. Fuck. I thought to myself, oh yeah, they've got melters. Melters don't wound me particularly well on nights until I walk up to them when they're just getting range in there. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, they reroll all hits.
Reroll wounds. And damage.
Oh, and damage.
Reroll damage.
Yeah, when it targets a bit monster or a bit.
They shot into my Valiant, yeah, and did 32 wounds. It's got no, not 32. 23 wounds.
They're quite short range now, aren't they? Yeah.
So
18 inches.
I'll admit that was me not knowing the list I was playing.
Fine.
That I was like, yeah, fair. I didn't know.
Yeah. My bad.
I'll admit my first time went really well. He sent his Blade Guard veterans up into the middle, and they got absolutely slaughtered by my shooting. So I thought, okay, this game's going to go well. Second turn, fuck me. Everything started whiffing. Everything just whiffed. I shot my laser destructor 12 shots. Hitting on 2, strength 18, all into 1 Blister Dreadnought. I did 6 wounds to it.
Terrible.
And the only reason why I was shooting at it, because my first turn, I got bring it down. So that thought I couldn't score bring it down because it was only the 2 Blister Dreadnoughts or Gilliman. So I was like, okay, I'll get rid of it next turn, and like, yeah, it's fine. But I've wasted like 2 turns trying to get it. Cause I thought, my second turn I can easily get it because I just whiffed on the first time trying to get it. So I thought, oh no, I didn't. Fuck you. At this point, I might as well go for Gilliman. The highlight of that game, though, the guy was lovely. I couldn't say anything. I'm way too nice to play competitive Warhammer. He moved Gilliman out first, and I was like, I could Overwatch him. So I said to him as well, my Overwatch that, and he's like, oh yeah, shit, you can, can't you? And I was like, well, why don't you move him back, move your squad forward, then I can't Overwatch him. He's like, oh, cheers. I was like, no problem, mate. Fuck.
No problem. It's alright, mate.
No problem, mate. It's fine.
Don't even want to win the game anyway, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not here to win.
Don't even like winning Warhammer games, it's all good.
No. But highlight of that whole game for me was making Gilliman fail Battle Shock. And then terror shading him, making him take out 6 mortal wounds. I was like, yeah! But so that game didn't go particularly well. I think it finished about 35 to 85.
It was pretty low scoring for you, I was watching it.
Yeah. And the next game, I got Necrons. Everything was pretty much golden on that. It was just basically a slugfest. Like, I shot him, he shot me. Didn't realise Locust Heavy Destroyers was 6
Flat
damage.
6 damage now, yeah.
I was like, bastard.
Still in like 1 shot though.
Still only 1 shot, but I think they re-roll 1s to wound as well.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, 1 squad did completely whiff, but I just kept using my Roton Iron Shields on it.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Did do a very silly mistake in that game where my knight was like, I've been charged by the Wraiths, and I was like, yeah, he should be able to kill him, so I kept going for the strike attack. Not totally forgetting that it's 2 damage on the sweep, which I should have been going for because it's 12 attacks.
You silly bugger.
I know. But I won that. My Valiant basically was like, dead. Killed the Void Dragon in 1 shot, killed his Catan in like 1 shot. I think I had to finish it off with a Flame actually, but yeah. But yeah, that game went well. I think I finished 85 to 30, I think, or some 40 or something like that. And that was the game where you set up your own objectives. So you can do an action to set up an objective.
Oh, that one. Oh, God.
Which I realised...
It's really hard to do with knights.
Which is really hard to do at night. But I realised it's actually beneficial for me not to set one up. Because then I can just V-line for the one he sets up.
And just take it. Yeah.
Just take it. And as long as I'm in there, I'm basically on 3 objectives. Because of a knight so big.
Yeah. Also, it's really easy to just string them out consecutively in a row with just like a little baby knight, and you just keep rotating it around.
Yeah.
And you just keep going that way around, and you just keep setting, just lose one baby knight, just doing that every turn.
I did end up setting it up on like the 4th turn, but that's because he moved all his units up into my deployment zone, and basically we switched because all my flames dropped in behind him, and my flame was just like burn. Weren't doing much damage, and then I was like, wait, I'm on his side of the table, and just flew my guys over a little bit. It's like, I'll go set up another one just here.
Yeah.
And it ended with just his warrior block in the end, which I kind of just left in the corner. I was like, they're not really doing any damage to me. Like, I can't. I
think if I remember right, you don't actually score anything for holding your home objective on
no,
this
you
one,
don't. But we did get the...
you still your secondaries still matter for your home objectives.
Yeah,
but
so like we got the mission rule where it's 4 CP for holding your home objective.
Oh.
It's sort of supply lines. What is it?
There is one for
Supply drop.
Supply drop?
Supply drop might be.
Like you roll, on your command phase, you roll D6 on a 4 plus you get CP.
Yeah, but it says on it that you have to be on your home objective.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could gain that extra CP.
I'm sure it's supply drop.
That's pretty cool.
I realised with Chaos Knights, the CP is very important.
Yeah.
And when you're getting 1 a turn, you're like, okay, I can rather use it defensively, or I can use it aggressively. And I think the whole tournament, the most I ever had was 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Imperial Knights that's got CP.
Yeah. I feel like Chaos Knights definitely need something to help them with CP.
Just start discarding your secondaries, you just get free CP into it.
No.
Just be like, I don't want this one.
I end up scoring them, that's the issue.
Just keep scoring, like, I can't help it.
I do have a rule question though, 'cause I kept getting really confused about this. So, if I kill something, I bring it down, I go first, I don't do it in my turn, and then I do it in his turn, do I still score it? Or does that not get scored until my next phase? 'Cause I was really confused, 'cause it happened to me twice.
So you killed something in Overwatch in his turn, for example.
So there was one time when I killed a character in his turn, and I was like, I don't know if I score Fascinate now.
But it's still an active card, right?
Yeah, it's an active card.
I would assume so, but without seeing the wording, I couldn't say for
the way
definite.
we were playing it, because I've scored it, it just went scored, and then when it came to my next thing, I got another card. So
Yeah, so it's a bit awkward one now, isn't it?
I'll have to check that.
Yeah, check
it's
the way.
a bit of a weird
That might be a weird interaction that it doesn't work for.
It seems like a common theme though. If you're just keeping the card, I mean, it's they score them so easily in most cases.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You don't often.
You don't often come up to this.
Yeah,
thing,
you either get rid of them immediately at the end of your turn, or you've already scored them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My last game, it just went all downhill. So we got, is it Hammer and Anvil when you're really far away from each other?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, playing God.
They do. I played second.
Yeah, so a lot of firepower at the back. So really far away from each other. We got the one where the objective in the middle splits into 2. And then I think it was something like minefields or something like that. No, yeah, minefields. So that went too, but there was no terrain for me to hide behind. So I was like, okay. So I had to kind of put my guy in. And I was like, if I get first turn, I can move up, maybe kill the Robo Dawn, just get rid of some of the anti-tank fire at me. He got first turn, blew up one of Mike's first turn. I was like, yeah, all his secondaries basically said kill a knight.
Not great.
I think he got assassinate and take some coffin objective, which my knight was on objective and do his character.
Oh, no.
So he basically focused all his army into one night, which it survived fairly long. It took me.
To be fair, that's the way you do it. You kill one, move on. There's no point in trying to plink. Or you shoot something small and meaningful, and rotate there. Cool, I'm going to go here now. But that's the way you deal with it.
And Taran kind of fucked me that game, because then I was like, okay, my other knight is going to move into this building, and I was like, it doesn't really matter.
He can't hide.
He can't hide.
Yeah.
So he moved into this building, and because it was such far terrain and he'd deployed so far back, I was like an inch away from his main guns hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that inch, I was like, that could be 2 tanks down, 2 his Liam Ross just gone with the harpoon. I was like, fuck. So yeah, that didn't go very well. So basically, from turn 2, I only had my war dogs. And at that point, it was basically me scouting my war dogs around, just trying to score objectives. And I think I scored 35 in the end by just pure luck.
Yeah.
Again, he turned around to me and I was like, oh, this game's going well for me. I was like, oh, let's see if we can get you 100.
I think I actually zoned out. I think I actually heard you say that. At this point, I was just like, still looking at the door. And I think I heard you say, let's see if we can get 100.
So he got behind enemy lines, and I just killed a unit which he used CP to get it in reserves. And he's like, at this point, I was like, the game's done, and it's like, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, you really need me to kill them scout sentinel so you can deploy them in his deployment zone, don't you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, let's see if I can do that. Oh, I killed him, there you go. And he's like, yay. I was like, there you go, mate, you done it.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Far too nice.
I'm far too nice. So, yeah, that's how my event went. Won 1, lost 2. Yeah. But I still enjoyed it. No bad players, like no soldier players.
There's no bad players. I mean, we can name one, but we won't. But yeah.
Just organisation that needs
the organisation, but
and terrain, but terrain. We know the terrain though. That's we know how the terrain's going to be.
Ben's not Ben. Who's the organiser? Is it Ben?
Sam. No, Sam.
Sam. Sorry.
No.
Like Sam did have to put a load of work in. Like,
he
had to bring all the terrain from home. He has to set it all up.
No, I get that.
And it's a bit effort.
It does, but it's just you need to be prepared for these things if you're going to do a tournament. Definitely in 10th. I weren't too happy about the painted VP thing. 10 points.
Oh yeah, because there was only you, me.
A lot of grey armies.
I think there was 4 fully painted armies.
Yeah.
We literally had nothing. Like everything else had like grey there, a little bit grey there, a little bit grey there.
The whole point of being battle ready was out the window. I just feel like Outpost did it right. You can come not painted, but you won't get the victory points.
Which is fair.
That's completely fair. That's how it is. Here, you got it no matter what. And I kind of thought like, so the people that have spent their time painting, which you are supposed to do for these stuffs, getting ready, it's not fair. While these other people are turned up like, oh, I've been out for 5 months, so I ain't done nothing. Well, it's kind of a you problem, you know. It's not our problem.
It is right there.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of you. It's like, no, we've put our time and effort in to get stuff ready for this tournament.
It's not hard. It's not hard. All you have to do is spray your armour, put a bit of base material on it, dry brush it and paint the eyes on. Technically, that's battle ready.
Yeah.
I concur.
It's what you do, don't you? It's literally what you do.
It's my life at the minute. Yes.
That's what you
print,
do, though.
paint, play, fuck it off for next week.
And then the ones that you do keep, you do not tidy up and make it look good. But I feel like there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And that's another thing,
But as you say, don't give them the VP. It's fine. It feels a bit nicer, but when they've been rewarded for just not having to paint, it's like
it is. Okay. It makes you feel like, well, I've just wasted my fucking time getting this stuff ready. Obviously, I want my stuff to be painted, but at the same time, I'm rushing to get this stuff painted to fucking get that VP, and it's.
I think we was talking outside about it when we was having a smoke about it, and he said the issue with it is. It's don't normally come up. Normally people aren't too bothered until you get a game where there's 10 points in it. And then all of a sudden it's like
a big issue.
It's a big issue because it's like, well, I would have won that if I didn't give him the 10 VP for being painted.
And that changes tournaments.
Oh yeah.
It's
It changes your win path and everything.
Casual games, if you're not paid, give them the 10p.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
at that point
we all
you're
do
just
that.
testing skill, aren't you?
I mean, that's
Not for a competitive game because, like, for instance, had say Outpost was doing that, I would have changed my list quite substantially, knowing that I'd still get the 10 BV, not having a few painted units, 20 termagants, for instance, that I knew I wanted to use. But I didn't because I wanted the 10 VP and wanted to make sure that was something I had access to. So yeah,
it's like I think the last 2-3 games me and Jed have played here. I've had models that ain't painted, and
it gives me back.
It gives me.
Because what we're doing is it's casual. You're practicing.
Yeah.
The 10 VP don't matter. You want to see your skill level and how well you score. So either no one gets it or both gets it because that 10 VP shouldn't be the differential you're worried about.
But
at a tournament, it does matter.
It makes a massive difference. And it's just, it was just.
I feel like it should be. No, you don't get a 10 VP, and then if your opponent says, "I'm just going to give it you anyway."
Yeah,
that's on your opponent.
Yeah, that's down to the opponent.
Yeah.
So bad day for me. Completely opposite of what Saturday was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, you lost 3. You didn't lose any of your other games on that day, so technically you did better than both of these because you didn't lose any of your games on the Saturday.
No, he did.
Yeah, lost one.
Oh, lost one.
Lost
2 draws and a loss.
Yeah.
It would have been more impressive if he got 2 draws and a win. He went undefeated. That would have been quite impressive.
Then I would be on the same level.
Well, I think you're only like 1 or 2 victory points behind me.
Yeah.
You were.
I was
close.
Yeah,
Close.
I was Saturday. I was just turned up. Just don't know what happened.
You turned your brain off.
Yeah. Just.
Tyranid fixed secondaries.
Did you all take fixed secondaries at Outpost then?
No, I didn't have to. I always take
apart
tactical
from
because
last game.
I can do tactical. These guys take fixed because they've got the Bibles that can do that, unless it's a game where the Bibles will get dropped really quickly.
Yeah. So for instance, I always take, if I'm doing fix, I always take engage and deploy teleport homers.
Yeah,
and I pretty much get at least 36. Between 36 and 40, almost guaranteed, because I won't take that option if my opponent has 3-inch drops or indirect, which is what Mark had. So I took tactical and I hated it.
I hated every moment of it.
Because in my games during Sunday, some of it did fuck me over. Normally I get quite lucky with my cards, but on 2 of my games
it will.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to score that. I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
it's exactly like me in the Orcs game. That's the problem. Like, I killed everything turn 4, so fuck. Oh, here's 2 kill secondaries, and none of them have a prerequisite that you score it if they're already dead. So you're like, great. Well, there's just points down the drain that I'm not scoring.
The problem I'm finding with tactical is that because I think 80% of them are scored in your own turn, you have very little agency to actually stop your opponent from scoring them, unless you just table them.
Or Overwatch them.
Easy to do.
or Overwatch them with a big fucking flame.
So, and yes, you can use a bit of like blackjack and kind of understand what they've used and what they have access to in the future, but it's just sometimes you're very at the mercy of what the cards being drawn are, and sometimes there can be little agency for you to be able to stop that. So I mean, I was never a fan of Tempest or Maelstrom of Warm, so I might be slightly biased against them. But
no, I can't say I was either. But I think the more I'm playing it, the more I'm kind of enjoying it. I just feel it needs a slight refining, doesn't it?
I want to like them. I'm now building my list to use them more.
Yeah.
Because of course Biovores are going to disappear sooner rather than later, and I'm fine with that. So I'm trying to. When I can use tacticals, just to get the experience, I'm trying to kind of get more used to it. But
I like it. I did like it. There was one in the Grey Knights game where I drawed what's the tempting target?
Yeah,
I drawn that. So obviously he picked. There was whatever he picked. He picked one over there. I was like, well, Sarth Darjan was going there. He's like, yeah, Grey Knights are fucking off. I was like, use the teleport away from that. I was like, that's mine then straight away.
Yeah, I do like that one. I find it funny. I did it where I was like, that one? Of course that one. So the one was got 4 knights on it. It's like, well, it's got 2 knights and 2 war dogs, and I was like, I've got OC 36 on here at the moment. So
it was both the Orc and the Sisters game. I drew that both times, and I was like, which one do you want me to have? I'm controlling them all already, so which one do you want to give me the points for?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm struggling with my Knights at the minute. Is like I can't look at any of the secondaries and think I can guarantee them. That's why I take.
I think they play tactical well anyway.
Yeah,
I think they do
they've got
tactical well.
decent.
And I think they'll be much better playing it when you're running the 1 big 9 small.
Yeah,
And I think you'll have a much better time.
A lot of
doing
it
that.
comes down to how much OC you actually have in your army, and that's dictates how easily you can hold and take the midboard.
got about 102.
Yeah,
It'll be about 102.
Yeah,
Should be
from
fine.
like 102
Should be
from
fine.
like 10 models. So yeah, you're about fine. But yeah, for my army that I used at the weekend, for instance, all of my infantry had OC1, and so I was very much dependent on just removing my opponent's assets while I was using the Biovores to plunk the spore mines down to kind of score. And it's not ideally the way I want to play, so I am moving towards 40 termagants in the new list to allow me to have more of a board presence that can kind of take and hold the midboard rather than just...
I'd be tempted to add more Hylogrants.
To be honest, I think
Because do you know what, they did really well. The die used it, but they did really well. The 2 OC helps.
It does.
You flood 10 of them on.
Yeah, because you had something, didn't you?
Yeah, two initially of 10, so you flood them on. It's like, yep, that's mine. Even if you start killing some, still mine. Still
Because you were
mine.
playing clever with them, weren't you? You were screening and then you were throwing them forward later on.
Saturday, I don't know what.
His intelligence level.
I
was
think
there.
it's because Matt's been on the podcast. I'm just.
You know what it was? It's because we had Matt with us, but with no Josh. So you could filter out the bullshit. You just had direct, nice Matt advice.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just because
Your head wasn't filled with Josh bullshit, so you just had Matt in
It's
there.
like Saturday morning on the way there. Says I'm gonna take fix. You're driving like.
Fucking swerved on the motorway like, whoa, what?
What do you think?
The minute Tyranids are one of the few armies that can do fixed almost too well.
Yeah.
Definitely when he gets custodes, but they've only got 5
Yeah.
models on the board.
Well, I was screening out that.
If they've got a low model count or low unit count or little shooting, little indirect, then you're fine.
If you're playing Nids and you've got Biowars, and let's take the fucking Biowars out. That's ideal.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for GW to fuck everything up and say, oh, why don't we do missions, tactical objectives for each armour?
Faction specific ones.
was,
So you just shuffle into the deck as you go.
No.
Please no.
No, don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
Mission faction specific secondaries that you can, if you fixed, you can take.
Yeah. And it'd just be completely
It'd be auto 15, 20 or whatever it is again. And it's
get good bits back. That's what I'm saying. Bring it back.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but have we still got some sort of GW FAQ for the end of this month to kind of tweak a few kind of...
I think Josh is saying we're getting an FAQ end of the month.
Yeah, but I thought it was just to tweak a few kind of inconsistencies and errors or a few...
Clarifications.
Yeah, because there's a lot of rulings where people are like...
Well,
we don't know.
The Imperial Knights thing, isn't it? There's still up for debate
that sort of
somehow.
thing, like a lot of unintended consequences, which I think the Biovores are certainly one of them. So I could see it going at the end of the
Potentially
month.
before Leeds.
Yeah, that's fine.
See,
That's fine.
the thing with the Knights one, I definitely think it's just one of each. One.
See, I don't know. I do think it is all ones.
It's because Chaos Knights have got it with one of their Knights, and that literally says one.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like-
That says one.
Yeah.
Whereas that says
So I feel like
you can rewrite
I feel like
a
it's
hit
just not
roll
been-
of one and a wound roll of one.
One, yeah.
Not
I feel
one
like that's
wound
the way
roll
it
of
should
one.
be.
I don't know. I don't care. Fuck it. I don't want Knights to have that. They can fuck off, to be honest. But I think that's how it's worded. But this is the problem. This is the exact issue. There's clarifications going back in there.
Yeah.
But overall, good weekend.
Yeah.
For me and Matt.
I enjoyed
and
it.
Jed. And Ash had a good Saturday. Ash had a 2/3 good weekend. He had Nids releases and he had a good Saturday. There we go.
Saturday was brilliant. Sunday night was great because I'd come home and I walked through the door.
Sunday night was great. I come home. Leave it there.
I come home, walk through the door. Tess says, "How was your day?" I was like, "I'm not talking about it." I was like, "I'm going to order another McDonald's." I had a McDonald's Saturday night. I don't know. I'm currently rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's watching the first time. And she's like, "Do you want to watch Buffy?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Did you stroke your hair and everything? you get your little blankets, you stroke it, it's okay.
Quick shout out to PJ and Glenn. Glenn finished.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn finished second at All Scars with his Eldar.
Yeah.
Of course, Eldar finished in second. Who would have guessed? PJ finishing third with his Imperial Knights. Who would have guessed?
To be fair to PJ though, he has only played like 3 or 4 games with them, so props.
It's probably but it's still.
It's still.
Top.
And then what won it? Because what won it was interesting.
Eldar with a bloody
Revenant Titan.
Yeah, Revenant Titan.
Yeah.
That's just a stat check though, and it's like you either spend the time dealing with that or you deal with everything else if you can.
PJ played him third in the third matchup, and he took out the Titan in 2 turns.
Yeah.
But he said the problem was with the Eldar is that there's just everything move. It's like you've got to kill that. You've got to kill that because obviously it's going to one shot a knight each turn. But by the time you killed that, the rest of your army is in position. Like, okay, we can win this now.
Yeah, we spent so long dealing with it.
So what they need to do, they need to start adding lead balls to all Eldar vehicles, everything, their feet, just so they can't move around. You know what? We need another fucking Slanesh. Like another Slanesh like guillotine.
Make Slanesh great again.
Yeah, we want Slanesh to go out and just fuck the Eldar up.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, Outpost, can't wait to go back again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, I mean, they mentioned about
there's a
double
doubles tournament coming up.
Which, I just want to clarify, when he mentioned that, and I said, Ben, you want to do? Like, I spent fucking 3 games with you. You fucking drive me insane. And then this morning, like, Ash, do you want to do it? I'm like, oh, this is fucking changing my mind now. I was like,
I never won a wooden spoon before. I need someone to guide me. I need to complete my collection.
And then Matt, at the same night, Matt's like, yeah, a knit team up just went on the same field to it. Just,
he wouldn't, you wouldn't stay 2 knits.
I'm confused about whose bottles it is.
Oh god, yeah.
Well, you know which one mine would be what side with the side duel.
No, it would be easy. You just build the 2,000 point list. Ash just turns up and just has beer all day.
Let's leave me 305 points for side duel.
Well, no, I'm saying 3 sidereals is 915. Then you could take a winged prime as your warlord, 80 points.
Or I could do a group of raveners.
But no,
you still need a character.
Yes,
yeah.
Because you need one. Assuming you need one warlord each, stage your 1,000 points, and I take an actual army.
yeah. And that's fair. 3 star chargers and funny.
Or I just take 2 barbed hero duels and then some bio-balls and shit, and then we just rock up with 5 hero duels.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Oh god, terrible.
Oh yeah, but over there,
it would not do well.
Whatever's happening with that, I probably ain't got another tournament now till maybe Black Dragon in September. I've just got to see about that.
Yeah.
But,
I need to have a look into that one as well.
Bit of a break from tournaments. Ain't got nothing coming up. Other shit going on.
No, we've got Leeds in a couple of weeks, haven't we?
I wanted to do Leeds, but it just fell on the same day as opening the season.
You know what it is? It's Northern tournaments. I think Northern tournaments are good.
Yeah, I loved Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds will be interesting because it's actually it will be the second UKTC major.
Yeah, so. First was Bristol. No,
it was the London Open.
Bristol was 9th, wasn't it? Bristol was last 9th.
40 something players. So
yeah,
it'll be super major basically for Leeds. So it'll be interesting to see how the meta shapes up, and I think we can already guess what that might be.
GSC, Eldar, Knights, Custodes. Yeah, Custodes seems to have come out, don't they? They've just won Tacoma, didn't they, with a mirror match in the final?
Yeah.
Is that with GW's weird pairings?
Yeah, so it's got the kind
bracket.
of the brackets, and also it's very similar to their 9th edition training, where it's quite boxed in, and like melee armies tend to do well.
Right. Okay.
And then you've got the 30 custodian guard that have 2 champions in it, not blade champions. The guy who gives the free CP. Usage, so that it's very difficult because they've got the -1 damage strat, so you can kind of you target 1 unit, and they can only use the strat to the unit they're attached in. But having 2 of them with the captains means that you've got it's very difficult to bait out that -1 damage at that point. And so Yeah, the 30 that just kind of walk up and they've got stratagems for fight first as well. So melee armies just are dead,
silly.
and then it's just from a shooting perspective, it's also very difficult to deal with them enough before they're just on top of you.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, I'm playing on Wednesday, so
It's not. It's not 30 of them though, is it?
no, he's bringing 2 tanks.
That's okay. Yeah,
That's okay.
that list also did well. So
I mean, that list is also didn't get is there's not a bad Custodes list.
I think my plan is let him come to me and just take him off objectives, and then
I think he's probably going to let you come to him though.
I've got range. It's a full shooty list.
Yeah, but he
Still
can
want to
hide.
get through them. They
You
still,
can TC.
yeah, there's still
Like
a
I've got 8 melter lancer shots.
You still got to see them though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, then again, I suppose you can just walk through a wall though, can't you? Forget about that. Chaos Knights just walk through a wall because of course.
I feel like that could almost be a generic strat, like any monster or walker
Should just walk through a wall.
No, let us be special.
Like
Please.
there are
Yes.
lots of Tyranid.
You know what? My Wraith Knight needs that. That's exactly what my Wraith Knight needs.
There are a lot of Tyranid monsters that are just useless. I mean, Toxicrene, for instance,
Yeah.
that cannot get around the board, and that would help immensely.
Yeah.
I wonder
adapting.
why. It's the tentacles.
Yeah.
Can't hide, can't get around the board.
Can't get around the board.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see a tentacle. Oh no shit! Anyone can
fucking see it from outer space. Yeah, that is one model that needs a new sculpt.
Yeah.
But
It's cool to look at.
it's cool to look at.
Practically,
but not
it's terrible.
yeah.
Fairly good rules as well, to be fair.
It's just the
just you can't get around the board,
It's still got that giant smoke cloud attack thing.
basically.
Yeah.
Can I just chop tentacles off? It's not really modelling for advantage, right?
No, mine are magnetized. So if I ever do play with it, I literally rotate it so they're pointing up to the sky.
See that couple.
Playing like a really casual game, I just bring 2 and point them both up to the sky.
No, fuck off, you're not shooting them.
Just because classed as dense when you shoot it.
This is the forest on the map.
Do you know what? I might start my own tournament. OverRHeads tournament.
Oh god.
Oh. Let's get some followers. Let's do it.
No, I'm the TO here. Steal my thunder.
No, it's my tournament. But I'll run it, and you can TO.
And house rule allowing all vehicles to move through walls.
Yes.
See what the
Everyone
tank
gets the
comes
Chaos
out.
Knights rule.
I reckon the Titanic only tournament would be really cool.
Sartorials on that.
Okay.
You've got no higher rules, you can't play.
Look,
Can we use legends to do account?
Yeah.
please.
Why not?
every list, no matter if your custodian has to have a Dimmercurrent or Sartorial in it. just
It's like your own little pet.
Got turn three, you gotta make sure you feed it or on
starts killing your own
goes the
units.
other way.
Orcs will throw Gretchen at it.
Oh yeah, it will fuck off.
Once per turn, command phase, you have to offer a tribute. One
Yeah,
model
yeah.
within 6 inches has to die.
Hey, I've only left Trajan there. Shit.
I'm writing all this down.
That'd be funny.
If anyone fucking uses this, I'm sorry.
Actually, didn't they have an Age of Sigmar situation like that? So basically, you played on like a the Beast's realm, and basically at the start of the game, you both choose a monster, and they both get set up on the board, and basically whoever it's nearest gets to control it. So you both get a big OP monster just to walk around the board trying to kill each other.
I want to play that.
That sounds good.
It was a really cool rule, but then what would happen is if they moved theirs too far up and then you were nearest to it, you got both. And then all of a sudden
It's just
like,
game over.
shit.
Turn around.
So you had to be near it without it killing you.
Whilst also killing the opponent.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Why they probably got rid of it. But it was really cool to watch the back wraps.
good narrative event by the sound of it.
Well, yeah, I think that's it. I feel a bit better after.
We've explored that.
Raging a bit and yeah.
Not gonna lie, I'm a bit sweaty to be fair. Like, I am moist.
But yeah, I think that's it. Is there anyone else want to rant?
No, I'm good. I've just had a good time.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
All good?
yeah.
We're all good. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the Dark Elder, you know what I'm going to say.
I talked about the Saboteur. Fucking little. I can take 2 of them.
Well, yeah. We'll leave it there. See you next time. Cheers for listening. Cheers for watching.
Bye.
Bye.